Hi there, I go by Briz. I've been inspired by Kai Cenat to start reading. This is the sign that I needed. Today we're going to be reading this beautiful book that my girlfriend and partner, who I love very dearly, got me over the Christmas period. This is all, again, I've been inspired by him. One, I want to start reading, and two, I want to get better at speaking the way that he is, and I think he's a massive inspiration towards doing that. So this is all this video is going to be. I'm going to set a 20-minute timer, and I'm going to read and read out loud for those 20 minutes, so... Okay. Here we go. In we go. I've already read the introduction, so let's get into... Oh, I've already read the blurb, so let's get into this. I'll restart it now, because we haven't started yet. Okay, there we go. Hey Siri, lock iPhone. Introduction. Making a video game may seem like magic, but it's just a series of practical processes, resourcefulness, and tech skills that lead to an end result. A published game. This book is meant to reduce any confusion or ambiguity you may have around game design and provide the practical steps to making a game. About this book. If you're curious about how games are made, this book will help you demystify the role of a game designer. Drawing from my experience on both large and small teams, I focus on examples from my smaller projects which are especially relevant for hobbyists and indie developers creating their own games, rather than those working with massive 100-person teams. This book is packed with tips, real-world examples, and practical advice, making it perfect for beginners, indie creators, or anyone who's ever wondered how to make a game and about the work that goes into it. I organized the content into 7 parts. Part 1, getting started with game design. I cover what game design is, why it matters, how to structure your design workflow. Then I explore some paths to becoming a game designer, what skills you'll need for game design, and how to get there. Part 2, exploring game design elements. Here, I cover some of the most widely used tools for making games, including many free or low-cost ones, and some tips for managing your project. Then I get into the meat of it, including game mechanics, game systems, story, art, and user experience. Part 3, balancing your game. I cover what balancing a game means as well as how to do so, including some processes for playtesting and collecting feedback. Part 4, designing your own game. Here's the fun part. All the steps you need to bring your own game to life starting from a concept. This book wouldn't be complete without covering how to finish your game as well, one of the notoriously hard parts of the project. Part 5, publishing and marketing your game. After you've made a game, it's important to know that you can find people to play your game. This part covers top places where you can distribute your game and provide some tips and tricks I've learned from distributing my own games that I've worked on. Who's this talking, by the way? Oh, I don't know who's talking. Alex Mandeville, I should read the back as well. We'll finish the parts and then I'll read the back. Part 6, the part of tens. You can get into game design in many ways. This part includes 10 game designers and their own paths to working on games, to provide examples of different routes you can take in the industry, and also provide a list of resources, including community websites, tools, videos, and more. Glossary. I cover some of the terms I used in this book, and common terms you may find in the business of making games. I'm excited to provide you with this info in the For Dummies series, because making a game is quite a few parts. It can be pretty technically complex. As a game designer, you may need a wide variety of skills. This For Dummies book provides a modular, easy-to-reference guide for making games, with many examples of my processes and the thought process behind them. The idea of making a game can be daunting, but learning about it shouldn't be. Foolish assumptions. I will come back to foolish assumptions. I'm going to read the blurb. So, video game design For Dummies, a widely banned. Learn skills needed to design games. Choose the right tools for the project. Plan each phase of the design process. Alexia Mandeville. Mandeville. There's no ER. Mandeville professional game designer and chief emoji officer. Learning to design and create your first video game. Video Game Design for Dummies is a fun and exciting roadmap to transforming your latest game idea into fully formed reality. In this book, you'll discover the theory that drives fun gaming experiences and learn about what motivates and engages players. Veteran game designer Alexia Mandeville shows you the tools, engines, and techniques that are available right now to help you design, build, test, and distribute your game. Video Game Design for Dummies is the practical step-by-step guide that beginner and aspiring game designers have been waiting for. Inside, learn what makes games fun, keep your players interested, choose the right game engines, test to improve and debug your game, understand game design career paths, design original characters, worlds, and plots, collaborate with other designers, plan game design and development. Alexia Mandeville is a co-founder and game designer at Buddhaville, an independent studio creating narrative games. She's an assistant professor of game design at Arts Center College of Design, a private university in Pasadena, California. She's a former game designer at Niantic and Meta. There we go. I've definitely noticed that, sorry, we're taking a tangent from the reading. I definitely have noticed that my eyesight has gotten a lot worse. I feel as though I can't read things as well, and that's a real shame. But it does not need to suck forever. Screens, by the way, just look away from screens. Just stop using screens. Not altogether, just try your best. Moving on. Foolish assumptions. I will also comment just before we continue, this feels so good. Speaking out loud has made all the difference. I tried doing this where I was just reading the first few things in my head and it wasn't doing it. Reading this out loud is it feels nice. Foolish assumptions. If you're reading this book, I assume you're a hobbyist, student, beginner, or maybe even an indie looking to find more information on how other games came to be from another indie developer. I expect readers to be interested in the technical knowledge of making games, but maybe not technically proficient just yet. You may be dabbling in a side project and need some support. A lot of this book is about the systems engineering that goes into design, but not the actual programming, engineering, or coding. Icons used in this book. Throughout this book, the icons in the margins highlight certain types of valuable information that call out for your attention. Here's the icons you'll encounter and a brief description of each. Tip. Mark tips and shortcuts that you can use to make the design process easier. Remember, highlights information that's especially important for you to know. Technical stuff. Denotes bits of information that are more technical in nature, but which can generally help deepen your understanding of a topic. Warning. Tells you to watch out. It marks important information that may save your headaches and heartache down the line. Beyond the book. In addition to the abundance of information and guidance related to video game design that I can provide in this book, you can find even more help and information online. Check out this book's online cheat sheet. Just go to www.dummies.com and search for Video Game Design for Dummies cheat sheet. Number 1, Chapter 1, Getting Started with Game Design. In this part, dig into just a little history behind game development and how it became more and more accessible to many different people throughout the years, learn what game design is and what it looks like, understand the importance of game design in creating games that players love to play, explore the phases of the game design process, what it means to be a game designer, and how to be intentional in your designs. Discover how to become a game designer and develop a designer's mind and the tools and skills you'll need to do so. In this chapter, learning what game design is, thinking like a game designer, overviewing how game design became more accessible, past tense, leaning into the fun, Making Your First Game, Chapter 1, Introducing the Art of Game Design. I'm so excited for you to dive into this book, break down the mysteries of game design, and maybe even start working on your own game. Maybe you're just getting started, or maybe you're already deep into a project. Either way, this chapter can help you understand what game design really is, how it's evolved, and how you can use it to design your games. Discovering what game design is. When I think back to all the work I've done on games and the work when I think back to all the work I've done on games and the work I see my colleagues doing, it's clear that being a game designer means wearing a lot of hats. Sure, most jobs require a mix of skills, but a game designer is kind of like the general manager in construction. You need to know a little bit about a lot of different things, and the things you need to know differ from genre to genre, because every genre has its unique elements. Many game designers specialize in one area, like level design or progression, and build their expertise from there. Game design is making 1,000 little decisions that add up to one amazing experience like the following. And then it's going to give a list of drop-down bullet points over here. Tweaking how many items drop from a chest, deciding why some items are rare and making them feel special and hard to get, designing levels that guide players without them realizing they're being guided, balancing abilities so that no one character or strategy dominates the game, writing lore that makes players care about the world and its characters, mapping out progression systems that keep players coming back for just one more level, deciding how fast a character runs and how high they jump, choosing the perfect sound effect for picking up a coin, testing and retesting mechanics until they feel just right, creating tutorials that teach without boring or frustrating players, ensuring the game is accessible so that everyone can play and enjoy it, crafting choices that make players stop and think about consequences. Remember. What was the prompt for remember again? I just want to double check. Information that's especially important for you to know. Got it. I'm going to pin this page. There we go. This is my book after all. Remember, when someone takes on the role of a game designer, they are responsible for orchestrating all these decisions, building frameworks to guide them, and crafting systems that streamline the decision-making process. See Chapter 4 for more about what it takes to become a game designer. Chapter 4 was what? Chapter 4 is becoming a game designer and has several sections, which are learning what it takes to be a game designer, exploring what game designers do, knowing the top 5 game design skills, making games fun, approaching game design as a craft, developing the designer's mind, curating ideas, finding your design style, preparing to hear feedback, collaborating with your team, learning from other designers, analyzing games, putting your ideas on paper, gathering the tools to get you started, designing a game on paper, designing a system in a spreadsheet, building a world, learning how to prototype. Moving from hobbyist to industry, building a portfolio, joining a game jam, practicing your craft, acing the design interview. Back to. I got a notification. We've got around 7 minutes left. That's so great. This has been really wonderful. Thank you for the opportunity. And Kaisenet, thank you so much. Looking at a brief history of game design. I framed this section around notable moments in history when game design and development became more accessible and how these changes shaped the way we make and play games. Working back from today, I stick to the last 30-ish years or so just because the internet became mainstream and available in many US households in that time frame. Ever since then, games have been growing at an exponential rate. This book was also written and published, as I believe, in 2025. As the cover said, copyright 2025, Yeah. So I think it was published, well, it was published sometime in 2025. I don't think it says the date specifically. Still. 2025, so very recent information, as it is now the, Wednesday the 14th of January 2026. And the time is 9:03 at the moment, and it's we've got 5 minutes, 27 seconds left. As of 2025, it's incredibly simple to get started in game design. You can download game engines like Unity, Unreal Engine, or Godot for free access resources like free asset libraries and learning skills through platforms like YouTube. Software like Blender, a free tool for 3D modeling, or Procreate for digital art, allows creators to produce their own assets, and platforms like itch.io let anyone publish their games for free, often within minutes. And once you publish a game, social media lets you promote it to people who want to play it. The barriers to entry for game design today are time, practice, and dedication rather than expensive tools or access to industry secrets and publishers. The result is an explosion of creativity and people who publish games. More than 89,000 games were published on Steam as of January 2025. Thousands of genres and user-generated tags describe a diverse array of experiences, from frog detective mysteries to farming horror simulators. Remember, so we've got another remember, which again is highlighting information that is especially important for me, or for us. And that is, remember, the democratization, I don't know what that means. Let me have a see here. Let me not do that. The democratization. Democratization, we are going to go to an actual dictionary because fuck AI! Sorry, that was a bit loud for you. I'm really, really sorry. Let's go to the Cambridge Dictionary. So, democratization is a noun. The process of making countries or organizations use democratic ways of making decisions. And democratic is based on which is an adjective to describe something, is based on the principles of democracy, a system of government in which power is held by elected representatives who are freely voted by the people or held directly by the people themselves. So a democracy is a system of government in which power is held by elected representatives who are freely voted by the people or held directly by the people themselves. It could be a country in which power is held by elected representatives who are freely voted for the people or held directly by the people themselves. An organizational group whose members all have the right to join in making decisions, who have their opinions heard, or a system of controlling and organizing the group in this way. So democratization is the process of making countries or organizations use democratic ways of making decisions. So those democratic ways of making decisions would be based on the opinions or the voices of elective representatives who have been voted in by a group of people, as far as I can understand it. I think that makes sense. So what would that mean for this? The democratization of tools and knowledge enables everyone to shape the industry instead of a select few dictating what games are. That seems to make sense. So if we look at the industry as the organization, then we hold the power, or we are the elective representatives who have the tools. So yeah, I suppose that if you think of like the people who make YouTube tutorials or publish books like these, they are the kind of elective representatives or part of the elective government, if you will, of game design, and that those tools and knowledge are are shared freely, are given out like not unanimous. Is it unanimously? Is unanimously all together? I'm gonna check. Yes, they're given out unanimously. The knowledge and tools are given out almost unanimously to everyone, which is made for the democratization of those tools and knowledge. Okay, which allows everyone the possibility to shape the industry. Got it. Instead of a select few games dictating what games are. Just like how you can take many different paths to make a game, you can also define what a game is in many different ways. At the time I'm writing this, and there's the timer, 1908 currently, so 20 minutes ago, my life changed. We'll finish this paragraph. At the time I'm writing this, the industry is having a difficult time. Many companies are doing layoffs, larger projects are having trouble getting funded, and many games on your own but making games on your own and sending them off into the world has never been more accessible. And then it goes through a go back. And I just want to talk a little bit on the layoffs. If I remember correctly, there were layoffs and you may not think of it as a game, but I play Magic the Gathering, as you may be able to see that binder back there. There were layoffs for Magic the Gathering in 2023, straight after the biggest set they'd ever done, which was the Lord of the Rings or the Universes Beyond Tales of Middle-earth set, which was massively successful. It's why I got into the game Magic the Gathering, and they laid off the person responsible for designing that whole thing and making sure it all went through, as well as a bunch of other people as well. There have been layoffs from multiple different studios over the last few years. I can't name drop one specifically because I don't remember, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. This has just been a practice of me, reading. I've known for a long time it's something that I needed to get back into to be the person I wanted to be, and also I just think it is the habit that I need to have. It's been really upsetting to see how much my eyesight has deteriorated and how I'm able to see words, but this process has been really nice because it's something that's not looking at a screen, and it feels like all I do these days is look at screens. So thank you so much to Kai Cenat for being kind of not the straw that broke the camel's back, whatever the opposite of that would be, the reason I have started making steps. I've just come back from being incredibly uncharacteristically unwell, and I feel like just before that I'd made a decision to change something very major about something that was a part of my life, and this is something that I think will be part of that as well. I'm not expecting people to see these videos, but I am grateful that I have been given the inspiration, and I just have the capacity to act now that I'm back being well. And thank you so much. That's everything. Goodbye.